Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 24th of March 2021. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday's afternoon session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, or our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yep, feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and well, click on the research tab right there on the top where, let me just load it up a little bit quicker. This one right here, and we'll take you to this page which we update on a daily basis. So now then, excuse me, jumping into into the charts, the first one I want to pick up here is the German index, and that's DAX, and well, it continues to trade within the range here, within this week's range, because although you can see that we had a few overshoots here yesterday, especially, still we are kind of maintained between these two levels, roughly between the 14,540 zone here on the downside and the 14,670 on the upside. So if you want to aim for the next kind of, let's say, directional move here, or the next, if you want to aim for some higher levels, well, wait for that daily candle to stay above this 14,670 territory. But for the downside, for slightly lower areas, because again, even if it drifts lower, still everything up to this upside line is considered to be a temporary correction. So for the downside, to a nice daily close below the 14,540 zone could do the trick for more sellers. So keep your eyes on that one. Quick update on Dow Jones Industrial Average. So the index is open already and it's pushing higher. It's making its way back above the 32,505 territory right here. Again, don't get me wrong. Yes, there is kind of a indication that the bulls are trying hard to fight this one. But will they be able to drag the index higher? Well, to be honest, what I would prefer here to see is, and let me just adjust a few levels here. So we can get rid of this actually 32,505 level, because again, it got violated yesterday. Today it got violated. So basically, it's a little bit out of the league right now, I would say. And probably the area that I'm going to be keeping an eye on will be this yesterday's low near the 32,356 mark, approximately around here. We're pushing higher right now. We're in positive territory. However, I would prefer to wait for a push above the 32,793 territory right here before, let's say, getting a little bit more excited with the upside. So long story short, guys, these are the two levels that I'm keeping an eye on for now, in order to kind of, let's say, then consider the next directional move, at least in the short run. Because again, even if we push here above this 32,793, yes, we will aim for some higher levels, but we'll be very careful. The all-time high, the current all-time high, is around the 33,228 zone, approximately around there. In order to, let's say, get even more comfortable with higher levels, well, a break of that one would be needed. But again, maybe we're being a little bit too ambitious here. But again, as I said, we'll slowly go higher if we get a daily candle staying above the 32,793 territory here. DXY is pushing higher and getting closer to that 200-day EMA, together with this downside line that I spoke about previously, and this one's taken from the high of the 25th of September.
So in a way, for now, I'm going to keep an eye on that this whole area actually, this 200-day EMA together with the this 92.80 zone together with this downside line as well. So this is my next area of resistance. If we break through that, then yes, of course, higher levels could be met. But if we struggle, then maybe a bit of a corrective move here back down could be possible. Gold is still kind of, let's say, not really kind of letting go of this 21-day EMA. Yes, we did push lower, but we didn't really push that much to the downside, and we're still kind of trading above the 1719 level, the one that I spoke about previously. So I need to see a nice good drop below this area in order to go for the downside. For now, it's just kind of really continuing to hug that 21-day EMA. With a wider hug, of course. Yeah, for now, like I said, it's a bit of a tricky one here on gold. And if suddenly DXY starts reversing after it, let's say, hits this area here and then reverses back down sharply, then yes, of course, we could see gold popping higher. But for the upside, as I said before, I need to see a push above that 1760 zone. Brent oil. So Brent oil is pushing higher, getting back above that little neckline, the one that I spoke about this morning, if you remember. Let me just try to maybe this highlighter here. I mean, let's see if this works out nicely. So this area here, this neckline, let me just put a nice yellow color. Actually can't see it in the yellow color. So anyway, you got the picture basically, guys. So this area right here is the one that I'm keeping an eye on. Of course, this is the so-called neckline. Yeah, I mean, for now, I will say that if let me just get rid of this. This is not very nice. If the commodity stays above the neckline, above this little area right here, then yes, maybe we could see higher levels again. However, still considering the fact that the day's not finished and we might see a push higher. Yes, we might see a test of this upside line here drawn from the low of the 16th of November of last year. But if by the end of the day this suddenly reverses back down and falls back below the so-called neckline here, then yep, maybe the downside. We're not really done with the downside, so keep that in mind. Bitcoin. This morning I told you to keep an eye on this one because basically here we have a tricky situation because of the potential idea of maybe seeing a falling channel. If it's a falling channel, then we might see a push higher, test the upper bound of the channel, and then reverse back to the downside. So far, I mean, we have to kind of stick to that idea. On the other hand, we could be maybe seeing a possible falling wedge pattern here. Again, maybe a tentative one, but as you know, these patterns tend to break to the upside, and but again, as the same story, break of this upper side would be needed. So either way, a break of this downside line here, or the upper one here, is required in order to strengthen maybe the upside scenario. A push above the 60,190 zone could do the trick for more buyers here. Jumping into AUD Nzd, guys. So this morning I talked about this one, and basically once again we're approaching this this hurdle here, this 1.0936. This was my main target initially, but I said to you this morning that if we get above this hurdle again, because this morning we were below it, if we get above this 1.0895 territory, then yes, I'll aim for the 1.0936 level again, or for this 1.0960 territory marked by the high of the 1st of September. For now, that's my game plan on AUD Nzd. USD Jpy, this one is an interesting one because it's pushing higher. Yep, I mean, basically, I've talked about this one on Monday, and I said to you guys, if we get a drop somewhere below this little area right here, this 108.34, then yes, we could maybe consider a bit of a larger correction to the downside. However, if it fails to move below this and instead starts pushing back up, yep, there is a good chance for this one to make its way north. However, to be a little bit more on the safe side, I would prefer to wait for that daily candle to remain above this 109.23 territory, and if we do get a nice kind of daily candle staying above it, then yes, of course, we'll start looking at some higher levels, because we're not going to have another false breakout here for sure. So yep, that's why if we do get this daily candle staying above this area, then yep, I'll start looking at this 109.85 level. Now, quick update on US dollar against the Turkish lira. This one's an interesting one because, of course, as you know, on Monday the news came out. I mean, I should say on the weekend, during the weekend, the news came out that the Tayyip Erdogan fired the Turkish central bank governor, and now we have a new one in there. So yeah, I mean, for now, I mean, this caused, of course, the Turkish lira to explode, or should I say, devaluate against its other major counterparts. But yesterday, basically, what I said to you guys, that if we get back above the 7.78 territory, and I highlighted this one again, that if we get above this, my next target is the 8.05 level, and then we would take it from there. And look at this beautiful test today. I mean, this is just bang on that level, and well, great news, kind of. Yeah, now what I will be looking at, of course, I'll go slowly, step by step, to the upside. I need to see a nice, good, strong push above this. Is it 8.05 territory in order to get a little bit more excited with the with further upside. So keep that in mind. GBP CHF. So looking at this picture here. Yep, I mean, for now, GBP CHF here is struggling with this hurdle here in the 1.2790 zone. We need that daily candle to remain below it in order to go for some lower areas for a larger correction to the downside, but so far we're not really getting that, so that's why we're going to be very careful on this one. In a way, if you want to, like I said, if you want to aim for that for some lower areas, wait for that daily candle to drop below this and stay below this. For now, even with, to be honest, with the upside, I'm not really examining the upside unless we start pushing here above this little area right here, and above these highs here that we saw here in the beginning of March. The highest point of March is roughly around the 1.2989 zone. So a nice good push above it would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and more buyers could join in. Euro GBP, quick update on this one. So it drifted back below this 0.8628 zone. Again, it seems that the pair is struggling with that upside, and although it seems that it desperately wants to go there, but somehow the bears are taking control here. Now, again, if we get that daily candle to stay above this area, above this hurdle, this is 0.8628 zone, then, well, we'll get a little bit more comfortable with the upside. But for now, we're just getting another false breakout here. So, yep, guys, that's why we're going to be, we'll take a careful approach here, and if we do get a push above this 0.8628 zone, then yes, higher levels could be met. For now, it's a little bit of a tricky one. If the pair suddenly falls back below the 0.86 territory, well, maybe the downside could be back on the table. And finally, EURUSD. So the pair continues to trade slightly below the 200-day EMA and below this 1.1834 zone, marked by the low of the 9th of March. And of course, all this is kind of painting a bit of a negative picture here. However, again, let's be very careful and cautious. Let's wait for this daily candle to end. If it stays below this area, then yes, we'll go for further declines. But if it doesn't, and if it climbs back above this 200-day EMA, then, well, maybe we're not really kind of ready to go lower. But again, we'll take it from there, guys. For now, it's not a very clear picture, but certainly it's leaning a little bit more towards the downside, that's for sure. That's why I'm gonna take a bit of a careful here approach, and for now, yes, I'm aiming for this 1.18 zone. That's my kind of main target. But if that gets clear, the 1.1745 level is my next level. but for that I need to see this pair, this daily candle, to stay below this 200-day EMA and below this 1.1834 level, which is the low of the 9th of March here. So guys, that's it for this session. I hope you found it useful. Just a quick refresh that tomorrow and Friday there won't be any Traders Espresso nor Tea Time. So join me on Monday. As always, my Traders Espresso. That's going to be 6 o'clock GMT time. Oh, actually, let me just quickly double check this, guys. I think it's going to be 6 o'clock GMT time. Yes, that's going to be 6 o'clock GMT time. So basically, guys, check me out then. Yeah, we'll go from there. We'll have a look at the markets, some of these instruments. We'll have a look at some new ones, and then we'll take it from there. So have a wonderful kind of remaining week, guys. I'll see you on Monday. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.